In this video, I'm going to give you a quick, basically start to finish build, kind of following just a sample niche, just something random that I just kind of thought of. But just to kind of give you an idea of if you were just to start from brand new site, take you all the way through, so you can see how to all the pieces fit together. So as I mentioned in the videos, I like to start with the shortcode. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some shortcodes in here. Now I want to, we're going to build this site out targeting all the cities in Florida. Just look through my list here. Let's do 2 different states so I can show you a setup that way. Let's just do Florida and Georgia since they're right after each other. So I'm going to go to add shortcode. I'm going to put in, just do my first one, a city. Let me grab my cities, my Florida cities, and all the way through the end of Georgia. So I'm just copy those over. I'm going to paste them in here. Add the shortcode state short, which is the state abbreviation, and I've got this set up in a spreadsheet so that they all match up 1 to 1, and that way I never make a mistake, and that use the right amount of shortcodes there. And also add another one for state, which will be the full state name. That way it kind of gives me some options to throw some different variations in there, because we never really know what people are going to use when they're searching, so we want to make sure we throw all 3 of those in there. Then I go into dynamic shortcodes. I'm going to use the same closing paragraph in all my post, so I want to keep it simple. But it is going to be a spun paragraph, and I've already got it loaded up in a text document over here. I'm just going to copy the last. This is just a snippet of text. It really has nothing to do with what the article is talking about, but just to give you an idea. I'm going to copy that under text because it does have some spin syntax in there, and I do want to say that it is spinnable. I'm going to go ahead and create that. For ads, now what we're building this site actually about pizza places, so it's going to be pizza places on both the hidden state of Florida and Georgia and all the cities in there. So if we go to the visual side, I'm just grab the random image from the web that I'm going to upload here to use. Got it here as pizza place, and I want to also make sure that this image it's linking to our URL. Let's say, for example, I set up a deal with a national chain of pizzas, and that they want to, and I'm gonna send them traffic from Florida and Georgia, so I have a tracking URL specifically for that that's going to land in on that national chain of pizza places, just to kind of give you an example. And I want this to make sure that it aligns to the left of it, and I'm going to insert that into the post. So then I hit create ad. Actually, I made a mistake there. Did not set the ad name, so let's just delete that. We'll put this ad left, go through the process again. The image should already be in there. Custom URL, I'm just going to say this is tracking url.com. It's still aligned left, and I'm going to insert that into the post. So now that it does have a name, we'll see here that it gives us the right shortcode for that. So I've got the 3 different shortcodes that I would use. Now I can go to Shaker Pages and add new. Okay, so let's just take this from the top. Basically, the title of the post, that's going to be one of the most important things on the page. It's what ends up being on the URL, especially if you set up the permalinks like I mentioned to earlier. And it ends up being the H1 tag on most sites, depending on the theme you're using, but most sites it ends up being the H1 tag. So we want to make sure that we have our main keywords in their main and secondary. So let's say we are going with pizza places, and this is where we start putting in the main short codes, which if we open this in another tab, we've got city, state, and state short. So if we put in city, and we got to put it in between the squiggly brackets to make sure that it picks it up as the short code. But I want to put also state short in there, so it will be Miami, Florida. Then I'm gonna put a dash and just add one of the secondary ones, so pizza shops, or find pizza shops in, and then I'm gonna throw the full state name in there. So I've hit city, I've hit the state abbreviation, and I've also hit the full state name, and I've put in two different keywords in the title here, and these are going to show up on the permalink and the H1 tag of the site. Now the body of the article, I just grabbed a random article online. I'm just going to copy it out of here, paste it in here. So now that I pasted it in here, first thing I'm going to do is I want to add that ad. I want to make sure that it shows up on all the different posts. So I'm going to go to this ad manager, I'm going to open it up in a new tab, and I'm just going to copy this snippet of code here, and basically I'm just going to add it at the beginning. If we go through text, I can just add it at the beginning here, and I added it to the beginning of the post, so right at the very beginning to the left of it, we're gonna have that ad showing up. Now the other thing I also did was I have that dynamic shortcode that is the closing paragraph, so I'm gonna copy the shortcode there, what it's telling me, go all the way to the bottom and just add that at the end there. So it knows that when it builds it out, it's going to replace this with the ad, and it's going to replace this with the spun paragraph, so that just give it some unique content there at the end, and every page is going to be slightly different since it's a deeply spun paragraph. Now throughout the article, I am going to sprinkle city, state short, and state along with the keywords, but not too much. I don't want to overdo it. I do want to make sure that city's in there to a certain extent. So right off the bat, order and delivery online has been around for quite a few years now. In city, state, short. So basically that's just going to change out the city and the state short. I'm going to make my life a little easier by just copying those two together. Throw it in here again. They offer these services for pizza delivery. And what I'm doing is I'm just reading the article and see where I can throw that city, state short, or state Like I said, you don't want to overdo it. You want to try to have it at least once in every few paragraphs or so. I see here that certain cities mentioned, so I can just replace that. Okay, so let's just say that that's my article completed. Now, something that I do like to do, and that now this plugin makes available, is interlinking. I like to have a link that goes to the previous post and a link that goes to the next post, but I like it to be a contextual link, and that is the anchor text is ideally it matches to what the post is about. So if we open up this interlink here in a new tab, it's going to tell us what we need to put in as the anchor text for the next and previous. So let's just grab this and put it, let's put it right here next to this pizza delivery. And what I am going to do is actually take this online pizza delivery, I'm going to cut it and replace it, because that's going to be my anchor text in there. So this is going to create a link to the previous post with that anchor text. Now we're going to do the same exact thing for the next one, and this is kind of giving it a little bit of a silo structure. When the bot comes through, it's going to jump from those links to links, and since they are anchor text links, it's just gonna give it a little bit more authority, more relevance. And let's put it in here. This order pizza is what I'm going to use as the anchor text. Just cut that, paste it in here, and I'm using keyboard shortcuts now, so that's why you didn't see me right clicking. So that's linking to the next one. And then you can also have the option of adding an extra image in here, just doing a few more SEO elements if you want, but basically we can build it out as like this and we'd be good to go. Now category, we have the option of putting a category shortcode on here. So I'm gonna just do this pizza shops, and I like to separate this out by states. So I'm gonna use the state shortcode that I've set up earlier in here. So pizza shops and states. So that way Florida and Georgia are gonna get split up. There's gonna be two categories for this site. Pizza shops in Florida, pizza shops in Georgia, and each of those categories will have their corresponding post. Do not use the delay publish, since we can do the, after we're done, we can shake up the dates. SEO title, I usually just copy the same thing that I have in here, maybe switch it up a little bit, but this is good. Meta description is, you know, you can just put whatever you want in here, but looking for pizza places, this is where you're just trying to sell the click. Pizza places in city, state short, check out our list of top 7 pizza shops in city, state. So if you notice, what I did here is the same idea. I'm using the two different keywords, pizza places, pizza shops, trying to sell the click just by doing a catchy phrase there. But I also ended up using city twice, and then the different state short, which is state abbreviation, and state. And then at this point we are pretty much ready to build it out. We would just hit save draft to make sure that we've got that saved, and we will hit build pages and posts, and the plugin will go ahead and go through the shortcodes and build that out.